All right, I'm looking into my crystal football. You want to win that would spark your season and upend the standings?
Yes.
Seattle.
Yes.
You want to build belief in your own locker room and send a message? In fact, in the words of Ron Wolfley, that if you mess with the bird, you get the beak.
That's right, Paul.
Seattle. You want maybe the most physical game all year, any season, #bully ball at Seattle.
No doubt.
And we are tracking towards that, and we're here to talk about it. Oh, by the way, how about another statement win to talk about here on the Big Red Rage, presented by Emergency Air. Paul Calvisi with, I'll call my two former NFL personal protectors right here. It's amazing how I talk tough when Ron Wolfley is here, and everybody, Frank Sanders, former Cardinals receiver. By the way, speaking of forecast, my Doppler radar says a perfect 81 degrees out here at Flanker Kitchen and Sports Bar on the Great Lawn at State Farm Stadium. Couldn't be any nicer. What a great night. The original Thursday night football, as we like to call it. Frank, how we doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so happy to be here. I always love sitting with you guys because you guys just like y'all rock with what you do. I get to learn, more importantly, but also just the love and the passion in the game and the way you guys express it and share it with the fan base. It's always special.
Yeah, Frankie, I love the fact you're here as well. Paulie, kind of, it's okay.
Well,
Paulie's here, but you especially, Frankie.
What people don't know is you're a former draft pick in baseball. Wolf likes to fabricate that he was all-state in high school in baseball. It's never been proven, but at least you were the real deal.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Don't make me break out my trophies, Paul.
All right,
okay?
no evidence
I would
whatsoever.
love to see that. You should post it. You should post it, though. You really should post it.
Let me just say this. Speaking of posting stuff, how about 3 and 5? How much better does 3 and 5 sound to you as opposed to 2 and 6? 3 and 5, 2 and 6, Frankie.
3 and 5 sounds great. I mean, like the idea is that, it wasn't just it was 3 and 5. It's the fact that it's how they did it, the fact that they was able to follow up and finish the game completely. This was, it's not like we haven't seen this team play great football for 3 quarters. It's just the fact that they closed out. 3 and 5 is a great start of where we really want to go. And now you got to start believing the possible. Can we keep this thing rolling? What does this team look like? What do we look like as a team cohesively? And I think that was on display on Monday night, and I think it was a really, really good win. So the 3 and 5, it sounds great, but we talk about 10 and 6 and other stuff like that. Get real grimy and start talking about the possible of what really can happen with this team if they stay healthy and they keep playing good football.
All right, Frank Sanders, I'm going to ask you the question I asked Jacoby Brissett and Buda Baker already this week. Okay, it goes something like this. You tell me it's a valid question or not. Does a team need to learn how to win? Learn how to finish? Is that a process?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. Like number one, you got 53 men in the team. Well, probably a little bit more, but those guys are still trying to figure out what they do and how they do it cohesively, collectively. The coaches got to figure out what guys are really playmakers. You can make plays, but are you a playmaker? That's the difference. We had plays, guys making plays, first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter, but when it came to the playmakers in the fourth quarter, where were those guys at? Absolutely, you got to figure it out. The game plan changes week to week. I mean, this team has been riddled with injuries, and when we don't have our first team running back room, we don't have this is our, third game where we've had a cohesive and collective body of offensive linemen. I mean, we got Walter Nolen back. Hello. That was like, we'll talk about him, but right, that was something special. So when you look at this team, it takes a lot to become a team, and when you figure that out, that's when it really becomes special. That's when football becomes fun. That's when the fans could really buy into the team that they were sold. Yeah. And now you have a situation where it looks really, really good.
I used to have an old coach that used to say, you don't learn how to win, you learn how to compete.
Yeah.
And to me, I like that because what he was talking about, Frankie, was exactly what you just said. In regard to the fourth quarter, you can play well in the first quarter, in the second quarter, in the third quarter. Man, you got to be able to finish in the NFL. You have to be able to finish in the fourth quarter. My old coach used to say that all the time. Learn how to compete when it matters the most.
Look.
And if you do that, you will have a shot at winning a game. I like that. I like thinking of it that way.
You know what? Jacoby Brissett, he quoted Bill Belichick, your old coach. That was his answer to me. He said Belichick used to say, you can't win till you quit from losing. Meaning you got to stop with all the dumb errors and self-inflicted.
Maybe learn how to compete in the fourth quarter. That's what my old coach used to say, once again, and not making mistakes when it matters the most.
Yeah, I got 27 comebacks on the Arizona Cardinal football team.
Come on.
27
Really?
comebacks. 27 fourth quarter
you kept
comebacks.
score. You kept score.
It's on record, man. Like Jake Plummer and us, we just cardiac cards, never quit.
Facts.
That on table just shows, man.
My goodness.
But you have to learn how to finish games. And those teams that we won against were very good teams. They just took us for granted, and we found something in the third and fourth quarter. We didn't quit. We competed. Look, I got Rob Moore, Larry Centers. I got Aeneas Williams. I got Eric Hill. I got Simeon Rice and Seth Joyner.
Yeah,
These guys,
Frank Sanders.
they don't quit. And so the mentality is the same thing now, and that's how you learn how to win. And it's a big deal, man. This was a huge win for us as the Arizona Cardinals and the fan base, but more importantly for the guys in the locker rooms on what they believe.
I got a stat on Frank, by the way. I'm going to save for a little later, okay?
Okay, I like
right,
that,
all right.
Paulie. That's
Frank,
a vertical tease.
ahead of Jerry Rice. We'll explain a little bit later, okay? Here we go. Speaking of Jacoby Brissett, there was a quarterback announcement regarding the quarterback question. Here was Jonathan Gannon earlier in the week.
Kyler's going to go on IR. Feel like that's the best thing for him and for us. He's not fully healthy, ready to go yet, so that makes the most sense. Obviously, that's a change, but we just felt, looking at it right now, that's the best thing for him and us, like I just said. He's fully committed. Right now, what he's going to concentrate on is getting healthy.
There you go. Jacoby Brissett, starting quarterback for at least the next month. Your reaction, Ron Wolfley?
Yeah, for me, once again, this is about Kyler Murray getting healthy. And, Paul, when you talk about a football player, you have to talk about body, soul, and spirit. You have to be healthy in all three of those things to be able to go out and play. Right now, he's banged up, physically banged up. He's going on IR. This was the correct decision, I think, going forward to name Jacoby Brissett as your starter, of course. It instills a little bit of confidence in that locker room. You want to be decisive in regard to saying, you know what, he's going to be our starting quarterback. So everybody in this locker room understands he's our starting quarterback and we're going to be going forward. And honestly, Paulie, had they not named Jacoby Brissett the starter, I think it could have done damage inside that locker room. I really do. And the reason why I say that is because from a player's perspective, and that's the perspective I'm coming from once again, not from the organization's perspective, not from the general manager, not from the head coach or the coaching staff, from the player's perspective inside that locker room, the best player should play. And Jacoby Brissett, his last three games and the way that this team has played in the last three games. Now listen, I know Kyler Murray has a much bigger sample size than Jacoby Brissett. It's a small sample size with only 3 games. Yet at the same time, they could have seriously won all 3 of those games. And I know you could say the same thing about even when Kyler was starting. They were in those games as well. But I think Jacoby Brissett has played so definitively better in those 3 starts myself that I think you could have done a little bit of damage inside that locker room had you actually moved off of Jacoby Brissett, provided Kyler was healthy.
Here's Jacoby Brissett when asked about, the opportunity to be a starter again. He started more than 50 games in his career, 10-year career. Here's Jacoby Brissett on that.
I think I have a greater appreciation of being in this situation, having the opportunity to go out and play and do the thing that I love to do. I mean, it's not promised. I know that. Been in this league for a while. I know these opportunities are precious because they don't last long, and it's just taking it day by day.
And look, he's played well. 3 straight games, 250 passing yards or more, and 2 passing touchdowns. Last Cardinals quarterback to do that, Carson Palmer. So what has stood out the most, Frank? You've watched it closely. Nobody knows quarterbacks like a former receiver. What stood out to you?
His presence in the pocket. And I just think that it's created the rhythm that you want to see out of an offense. Like there's timing that happens, and we talk about this, right? We quarterbacks take 3 steps, drop back, the offensive line and rhythm is thinking 1,001, 1,002, ball should be going. If I'm running a 12-step route, I'm thinking the ball should be going probably like at half. When I turn around, I got 1 step, and then the ball, I should catch the ball. And I think we've watched that. That's what made the offense look good. You've watched rhythm, you've watched timing, you've watched receivers catch balls directly out of break, but you've also watched the offensive line they've been collectively being able to hold their blocks in a position. You've seen a wall. Like, we haven't seen a 7-step drop back turnaround with a hitch and stand in the pocket, then throw the ball in a long, long, long time. But over the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've seen Jacoby Brissett be able to do that. And so I think you're watching the receivers and everyone else just play in rhythm, and that's really been a special thing to watch.
No team ran more play action in a single game than the Arizona Cardinals on Monday night against Dallas.
Yeah.
Isn't that, it's pretty amazing how they have tailored this offense. Drew Petzing and Jacoby Brissett go back to Cleveland. They have a very close relationship. You can see him talking all the time on the sideline. Brissett talked about that this week, how, they're adjusting accordingly in real time to what they're seeing. But Wolf, the quarterback under center play action, it holds the defense honest for that extra second, right?
Paulie, can you say chunk throw? Chunk throws happen off of play action. I'm talking about even the 15-yard out route. I'm not talking about the 9 route and the 8 route, the 7 route. I'm talking about the 15-yard out, the 6, the dig, man, on the inside. They turn into chunk throws off of play action. And Jacoby Brissett really has been masterful in the pocket.
Yeah, the third down conversion percentage is #1 in the league since he's been the starting quarterback. By the way, I got so fired up about former Cardinals receiver Frank Sanders, I forgot current Cardinals receiver Michael Wilson is going to be our guest in about 10 minutes. Get your hands on the latest merch from the Cardinals team shop, azcardinals.com/shop. We continue the Big Red Rage presented by Emergency Air from Flanker on the Great Lawn.
Plummer throws the ball, and it is caught on an acrobatic catch by Sanders at the 40-yard line in front of Darrell Green.
Great effort by Frank Sanders.
Plummer looks. Plummer throws to the far side. Sanders makes the catch.
Frank Sanders, I'll tell you what, he's everything. He's made all the big plays.
Plummer back to throw again. He's going to wind up. He's going to go deep, far side of the field. Sanders makes the catch and scores.
Plummer, a 5-step drop, and he lobs one to the left corner of the end zone. Leaping catch by Sanders. Touchdown Cardinals. Plummer rolling right, going to fire to the right. Caught by Sanders. Touchdown Cardinals. It's a 4-yard touchdown, and the Cardinals in command.
Oh, love hearing a young Dave Pash on the call right there.
El Pajaro.
Not sure Dave was old enough to rent a car at that point. That's some great stuff right there. Okay.
David had hair.
Makes me cry when I hear all that stuff. Man.
Former second-round pick of the Cardinals, Frank Sanders, is our guest, everyone, here on the Big Red Rage, presented by Emergency Air. A former first-team All-American. And at least one of those highlights, you know what? It reminds me of the 1998 season, right? In that epic playoff win at Dallas, where some guy named Frank Sanders led the NFC with 89 catches, and some guy named Jerry Rice was #2 that year with a paltry 82 catches, Frank. Man, don't tell me you don't remember that. Come on now.
Man. Winning allows you to enjoy all the spoils of it, and we wasn't winning a whole bunch, and then we finally figured it out. And hopefully this team comes on that run in 1998. Hopefully they figure, like we're expecting them to figure something out, and then they get on that run, and then they find themselves in the playoffs, and then then anything can happen in the playoffs. And so, but to be in that position, like humbly, I say, man, I'm so grateful I had Rob Moore to give me some teachings and Anthony Edwards to give me some lessons. The beauty of my moment was I had an opportunity to watch Larry Sanders practice and finish every play, not just catch the ball, turn around and go back to the huddle, but catch the ball and run another 30, 40 and cause it a chase match to get at that game mode. And I had some good opportunities. And then we got Jake, and Jake was rare and he was raw, but he was able to figure it out. And once he figured it out, we all kind of got on a roll, and that was a really, really good thing. Mark Trestman said something, and I think a lot of these guys need to really enjoy this moment, is saying we won't be the same next year. So you have to maximize this moment now. All you guys are playing right now, this might not be the same team, so you have to give your best for your fellow player. You have to give your best for your family and the fans that come support you. But more importantly, you really got to give yourself, because you don't get this chance, and it's not always promised to you.
Frankie, how long did it take you to assimilate to the NFL game, to acclimate to the NFL game? How long did it take you to truly understand defenses?
Honestly, at my senior year of college, I was already transitioned mentally and emotionally for the NFL, because I knew that what I needed to do, I needed to beat Deion Sanders. I needed to beat Darrell Green. So you at Southern Miss or LSU, your cornerbacks at these schools
Who
were not.
was tougher? Who was tougher, Deion or Darrell Green?
Darrell Green, because we were going to throw the ball against Darrell. We wasn't throwing the Deion side. That was unfortunate. I hate to say that, but the game plan was, we're not throwing the Deion. We'll run the Deion. But Darrell was like a really good challenge for me. And again, that's just a wily vet, a little kid playing, PlayStation and video games and watching these guys. And, that to me was always the excitement about the NFL is you're playing against your idols. Then your idols get to know you or they start calling you by your name. Hey, Wolfley, hey, Frank. That's something that really internally changes the narrative. So all these guys right now, like they know Marvin Harrison right now. Michael Wilson, he's going to be a name they're going to have to pay attention to. And Jacoby Brissett, he's revitalizing his name. And you look at DeMarcado and Michael Carter and all these guys that are making plays now. You're going to recognize their name because they're making plays. And that's just the beauty of it, becoming a team and figuring it out.
All right, speaking of making plays, let's go in the cold tub time machine here, if you will. Cardinals and Seahawks on Sunday in Seattle. This was at Seattle 2002. This was the first year they opened the building. And here was a memorable moment courtesy of one Frank Sanders.
3rd and 2 for the Cardinals at the Seahawks 4. Sanders slot right, Boston to the right of him. Plummer rolling right, gonna fire to the right, caught by Sanders, touchdown Cardinals! First reception of the year, it's a 4-yard touchdown, and the Cardinals in command.
And the one thing about that drive, they executed on every single play. Positive yardage every single play, and you know that's true because the fans are running out of here right now. They know it's over.
Oh, feels so bad for the 12s because that was the season opening game in their brand new stadium, and the Cardinals went up there and Jack stomped them 24-13.
Yes, sir. That's what we hope the same, right? Like it's not an easy place to play, but it's a great place to play. Sitting on the football field, you get to look back at Emerald City and you just look back through that little so-called scoreboard they got in a little thing. It's a beautiful place to play. The fans are crazy, but I mean, like that moment was a great moment for me. I grew up liking Steve Largent, and one of the guys out of my high school, Brian Blades, played for that team, and it was just one of those things where you get a chance to go back and see what's going on in their lives, and it was a good moment for me as an NFL player playing in Seattle.
So, Frankie, did you like playing on the road more than you liked playing at home? Did you have a preference?
No, I liked home because I loved that feel, and I
did.
Yeah, I loved.
See, I love going on the road, man.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, we're going into this strange village. We're going into this hostile
This is a
territory.
true Viking of a man.
Saying,
That's right.
I mean,
A real barbarian.
It would put you on edge immediately.
Well, you was going to smash people. I was going to dodge people. Two different things, right?
You had talent, and I did not. That's the reason why we have that difference of opinion.
But you know what? All right, let me throw this out. I'm going to segue real quick because Marvin Harrison Jr., and we talked about this in the offseason, he didn't have a Rob Moore last year. He didn't have wide receiver one to sort of mentor him. His own father, Hall of Famer, didn't really take off in his career until year 4, believe it or not. Their numbers are very similar after their rookie year. But he said something earlier today about how he's playing faster. He's getting off the ball faster. He's getting down the field faster. And because of that, I think most everyone will agree he's getting more separation. Is there a direct correlation there, Frank?
Oh, without a doubt. You have to be, from a receiver's perspective in NFL, you have to attack. You cannot just be running mundane routes. You cannot just be trying to get to a spot. You have to get to that spot. You have to attack to that spot because the defensive backs' jobs are to cut you off and tug on you and pull on you. And you have to be aggressive. And I think there's something about that. Watching him be aggressive Monday night was special. He looked great. He looked forceful. He was going to take it to Jerron Bland. Every time he got in front of him, he was going to punish him. And that's what you need out of your quarter. That's what you need out of your receiver. And I think that's really good to see.
We used to call that the block slant, where the wide receiver would line up and act like he was going to block him just for a second and then block.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, have you ever done that?
Oh,
yourself?
absolutely. I've done it.
What a route.
Yeah, man. That's the part. Like he's learning how to be a number one receiver in the NFL. You're getting the best corner. They're rolling the coverages to you. You are the reason why the defensive coordinator says we're going to take him away. We're taking you away, and we'll let everyone else beat us. And if I do that, that means you're going to see a defensive end flare out at you. You're going to see a linebacker come stand over top of you in the slot. You're going to see the safety roll your way when you think you should be open. That changes everything. And I think once he sees that, I constantly say this, every NFL player needs to learn what the defense is trying to do to you. And once you figure that out, then you can play fast. And I think he's seeing that.
You'd think Dallas would have learned not to cover him one-on-one. They really didn't make much of an adjustment
Not at all.
during the game. He had a
Thank God.
career-high 7 catches. Here's Jacoby Brissett when asked why Marvin Harrison Jr. has improved so much in one-on-one situations.
He's big, he's fast, can catch, can run. He's tough. He wants the ball in those situations, which is probably the most important part of it. And I think just that. In those situations, he looks forward to those. And as an offense, I think we do too. And, he came out on top of a lot of those situations from the past game.
And in a little bit, we're going to hear from Michael Wilson, our guest tonight. Give us a quick thought on 14, especially that 50-yarder to start the second half.
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I thought to myself, like, look at what the coach did, the play calling, to come out and be aggressive, not go to a 2-run, then figure out what to do on third down. It was exciting to see that. But, I mean, I have so much respect for our receiving core. I think they're going to be great. I think having a rhythmic quarterback, one that can sit in the pocket you could trust while you're running routes. I think one that like every ball that's been thrown to him has been pretty much mostly catchable balls. But to watch him do that and catch the ball in rhythm and run, he has a lot of talent. It's just not on display consistently. And once they start realizing that rhythm that they have, you're going to see these guys, man, just really explode. The back end of this season should be better than what we saw in the first half if these guys are able to stay healthy.
Frankie, what do you think is easier for a defensive coordinator to take away, a wide receiver or a tight end?
Shucks, man, that's a great question.
Because that is.
I'm only going to say I'd say a
things,
receiver.
obviously.
I say a wide receiver. The tight end is really hard because he could be blocking, and then that looks like he's not in the play. The next thing you know,
true.
he runs to the flats, or he does a turnaround, 5-yard turnaround, and it's a goal. Defense reacts. Their reactionary mindset is very fast. If he blocks, I'm looking for something else, and I'm gone. And from that standpoint, but from a receiver standpoint, you can always cloud a guy, roll a guy. You can set the defense to him. And if you want to take it a
high
receiver,
and low,
yeah,
in and out.
you can have 2 guys, and all you need to do is offset the timing just a little bit. From that perspective, all I need to do is get my hands on you from the linebacker perspective, standing over top of you, and then let you go, and then let the next guy pick you up. And I think that's like a chip block from a running back or a tight end. You just need to bump them a little bit and then go from there. But I think it's easy to take away a receiver because you just got so many guys you can throw at him. From a tight end, he's inside. If you're sneaky with him like we've been, and Petson's done a great job with Trey McBride and Higgins, then we're going to see that these guys are very, very important to the offense.
Tell you what, Seattle has a top-notch secondary. They got a lot of assets invested.
Boy.
Devin Witherspoon, 2 years, 2 Pro Bowls. I mean,
That defense, Paulie.
Oh, the rookie, the second rounder, looks like a young Adrian Wilson. That safety, Nick Emmanwori, he's like 6'3", and he hits like a ton of bricks.
That defensive line.
Yep.
Oh, baby.
Join us, State Farm Stadium, February 21st, the inaugural Cardinals Climb fundraising event, and hike one of several stadium-inspired trails ranging from accessible to advanced. All proceeds benefit the Arizona Special Needs community. Learn more, cardinalsclimb.com. Back, we're out here at Flanker Kitchen and Sports Bar on the Great Lawn at State Farm Stadium. Michael Wilson is next on the Big Red Rage, presented by Emergency Air.
Back to pass, Murray fires end zone, middle of the field, and Michael Wilson goes up high to make the catch, and it's a touchdown with 4 seconds left in the half.
Michael Wilson did a great job selling outside first, then bending it back inside.
Throws left side, and what a catch by Wilson with one hand. Got the first down. Throwing left side for Wilson, who adjusts and makes the catch inside the 15. What a throw by Brissett.
What a ball by Brissett. Even better catch by Michael Wilson.
Throws deep, far side, and the catch is made by Michael Wilson.
Incredible catch by Michael Wilson.
Brissett going deep middle, caught by Wilson at the 50. He's loose far side of the 40, at the 30, hand fighting with a defender and shoved out of bounds at the 25. It's a gain of about 50. Jacoby Brissett on time and on target once again.
You know what? The nickname, Big Play, doesn't just belong to Trey. I mean, come on now. Big Play Michael Wilson is our guest here on the Big Red Rage, presented by Emergency Air. Mike, welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
So I'm just sort of theorizing here. If there was such a thing as style points, maybe a board in the wide receiver room, degree of difficulty. I mean, come on now. AQ and Dave Pasch aren't just calling the plays right there. They're genuinely impressed by the degree of difficulty on some of those catches.
Yeah.
I mean, how have a few of those looked on film when you've gone back?
Oh, great question. A lot of times I think throughout an NFL season, you'll surprise yourself with some of the plays that you make. And sometimes I have to fight the urge to be like, damn, was that kind of lucky? Or am I really just, my ball skill is really that good? Like this, I think of all the Seattle catch. Like I didn't see the ball until it was a couple feet in front of my face, and I just stuck a hand out there and happened to make the play. So a lot of that stuff is just, you often hear the statement, fall back on your training, fall back in your training. That's why I catch so many jugs, play so much ping pong. For guys out there, ping pong helps a lot with hand-eye coordination.
I just found this out in the locker room. A
Yeah.
little I-team investigation. Tell me something about Michael that I don't know. And the guys mentioned that on off days, there might be a couple of games of ping pong at your place.
Yeah, so usually Simi and Andre come over for like an hour, 2 hours. It's a good way to just catch up on life, get outside of football. But at the same time, you're also working your hand-eye coordination. And for whatever reason, I swear by it, playing ping pong helps you catch the football because the ball is moving so fast. When you go out and catch a real football, it feels like the ball is moving slow in the air.
So when you snag that ball on fourth down and it's right on you, are you thinking ping pong?
I'm thinking ping pong. Like as soon as I come off on the sideline, usually Simi and Andre will be like, "That's a ping pong. That's ping pong right there."
That's great. By the way, they said if there was a power poll of ping pong players, you'd be third. So there's some trash talking in the receiver room.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I saw you in Indianapolis with a ping pong table to joint practice. You look pretty darn good to me.
I was definitely Top Gun in Indy.
That's great. Michael Wilson is our guest. All right, so here's the other term I learned from the receivers this year and your coach, Drew Terrell, flow state.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fancy term for you're playing and not thinking?
Yeah.
And has that happened to you recently? Because your first 3 games, you had a single catch in each game, but now you've had multiple catches ever since.
Yeah. I want to push back on. I think I was playing at a pretty good level the first 3 games of the season. Obviously, playing the wide receiver position, a lot of your success is dictated on play calling, quarterback play, O-line play, and then also when a play is called for you, the coverage dictating where the ball goes.
Sure.
And so you can have a great game. I've had great games. Like I think about the Carolina game. I thought that was one of my best games this year. I finished with 1 catch for a touchdown, but the tape looked really good. And so normally I'm going to refrain from judging my game based off statistics because a lot of times I don't think that's really my role in the offense is I'm not going into a game anticipating getting 10 targets. Now, that may happen, but law of averages say I'm expecting between anywhere from 3 to 5 catches, and I'm going to run hard, I'm going to block hard, and when the ball comes my way, I'm going to make sure I come down with it. But I will say that the ball has found me the last couple weeks, and I think I've done a great job of capitalizing on those plays. But I do think if the ball had come to me as frequently or as in the way that it has these last couple games and those first 3 games, I think the results would have been the same.
It's really interesting. Michael Wilson is our guest. And look, there's one football and there's a lot of weapons on this team.
Yes.
But is there a natural inclination, because you guys are all confident in your own abilities, you're the 1%, to think, man, I'm capable of a lot more. Or maybe there's a breakout game still waiting to happen.
For sure. I think we're all I said a couple seconds ago about the targets and whatnot. I'm always going into a game thinking, okay, this might be the game where the ball finds me 10 times and I go for 100. I'm always supremely confident, but also, JG talks a lot about starring your role. And like I said, right now my role is not to get the grunt of the targets. That may happen in a game, but like I said, my job right now is to block really hard, make contested catches, run every route 100%, and when the ball comes my way, make plays. And I feel like that's what I've been doing. But yeah, all the time I'm going into a game thinking, this is the game. My brother's calling me, texting me, this is the game, Mike, this is the game. So I'm supremely confident in my ability, and I still do believe that game's coming.
And look, we could spend an hour talking about this passing game right now, but tell us about third down in particular. I mean, the Cardinals the last 3 weeks have led the NFL in third down conversion percentage. What's the formula there? What's key?
I think it's just everyone doing their 111th. I think it's Drew making the call. Jacoby calling the play in the huddle, getting everyone on the same page. O-line protecting, receivers getting to a spot, getting the throwing spot on time, winning one-on-ones, Jacoby making the right throw, making the throw on time, and then just ultimately the pass catchers coming down with tough contested catches.
When I saw him lead the team out of the tunnel in Indy, his first start, and now that Kyler's on IR for at least the next 4 games, I mean, tell us about the belief, the confidence level, and a guy who's been doing it at a pretty high level for a decade.
Yeah, it's really fun, playing with Jacoby. I think he's a breath of fresh air with his, his leadership, his poise, his charisma, his communication in the huddle. He's kind of got like this sort of presence to him, just because he's a lot older than myself and a couple of the pass catchers. It's just refreshing having his, his veteran presence in the huddle and calling plays and, sort of spearheading our offense.
How different is this offense, or should I say, how different does it need to be when you go in a rematch against a division foe? There's always that, hey, we know each other really well. We played them in week 4. I mean, is there much you can change when you play a division opponent a second time in a season? You've been doing this long enough now to know.
Yeah.
Do you have to present something different?
That's a great question. I think you can take what we did well from the week 4 game, look at what we need to do better. Seattle's kind of changed up some things the last couple of weeks, and so trying to exploit what they, coverages that they run on third down and base downs and, draw up plays to help give us answers to beat those coverages. But I honestly think I enjoy playing a team the second time because you kind of know what to expect from the players, from the defensive standpoint, how the DBs are going to play you. So I honestly feel like I'm a little bit more calm and have a little bit less anxiety going into the second game than I do the first.
Do you like the whole us against the world when you go into Seattle?
Yeah, it's a fun place to play. It definitely is probably the loudest environment that we'll play in this year.
Yeah. How loud has it been around the house as a new father? How's that going?
Oh, it's the best thing in the world. Yeah, it's being the dad to, a little sweetheart girl is it's everything I could ask for.
I mean, in 1 year, your life has changed a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah, married, child. Yeah, that's what happens when you grow up, though.
And how's your sleep been? Have you been able to get your sleep?
Yeah, I got to take this opportunity to shout out my wife. She's done a phenomenal job of taking on the grunt work of the caretaking of our baby. Just because during the NFL it's so hard and sleep is paramount to not only performing at a high level but also injury prevention and whatnot. So. During the night, she's been handling that workload and taking it like a champ and not making me feel bad about me not getting up.
That's a pro move right there. That's
exactly.
Well done. That's well done. Well, and for those who don't know, your wife is a gold medal winner.
Exactly.
Sophia Smith. And so she.
How you do one thing is how you do everything. She's an elite athlete and takes her job seriously. So I knew that was going to translate to being a mom.
That's really good. Okay. Well, I tell you, Michael, we really enjoyed it. It's great stuff, and we look forward. I mean, this secondary by Seattle is no joke, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be one of the more physical secondaries you're going to play all year, correct?
For sure, yeah. Definitely, probably a top 5 secondary in the NFL. And we had our hands full in week 4, and I feel like every time I've played Seattle, it's always been tough, physical. You got to fight for every catch, fight for every route, fight for every ball in the air. They got Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen and Josh Jobe, and I know Julian Love's down, but they got as good of a core as we're going to see this year.
I'm fired up. Love going into Seattle. And I'm just the lowly sideline reporter, so I can't wait for it. So that is good stuff. We'll come back. We'll talk with Frank Sanders, former Cardinals receiver. We'll get his thoughts on this Cardinals passing game right now, how equipped it is to go into Seattle. You know what? All those 12s up there thinking, okay, the Seahawks are rolling, and there's all this debate. Are they the best team, not in the NFC West, but in the NFC? Really? We'll see what the Cardinals have in store. Thank you, Michael.
I like that.
There you go. We continue with the Big Red Rage presented by Emergency Air right after this.
Prescott will take and hand it off. Williams running left. Grabbed at the 10 and dropped by Walter Nolen. The rookie on just his second NFL play gets a tackle for a loss. It's a setback of about 2 yards. Prescott 3-step drop. His pass right side is deflected. Incomplete. Walter Nolen, the rookie out of Ole Miss, got a hand up to bat it down. So he's got a pass defended and a tackle for a loss in his NFL debut. Prescott the pass, in trouble, and he is sacked back at the 43 by Walter Nolen. Have a debut. A tackle for a loss, a batted ball, and now a sack by the rookie out of Ole Miss in his first NFL game.
This is what the Cardinals have needed. An incredible move, outside move against Tyler Smith, probably their best offensive lineman, for the sack. Walter Nolen, welcome to the NFL.
A.Q. Shipley, Dave Pash. Cardinals been waiting to call the name Walter Nolen III, and you know what? He got his name called a lot on Cardinals radio Monday Night Football. In fact, the round one rookie, number 16 overall, just became the fourth player in NFL history to have a sack, 2 or more tackles for loss, and a pass defense in the first career game. And he's the first guy to do that since All-Pro T.J. Watt in 2017. Wow. How about that for a debut? It is a Big Red Rage presented by Emergency Air. We are coming at you from Flanker Kitchen and Sports Bar on the Great Lawn at State Farm Stadium. Paul Calvisi, Ron Wolfley, and Frank Sanders, our special guest, former Cardinals receiver. We just spoke with Michael Wilson. Among the notable takeaways from that, guys, was him citing and attributing ping pong to hand-eye coordination. And
I should have played more ping pong when I was growing up, Paulie.
Okay.
Because I had frying pans for hands.
Speaking of hand-eye, let's see. You were drafted by the Cubs and the Mariners, Frank Sanders, and you were the starting left fielder for Auburn in the 1994 College World Series. Did baseball hand-eye ever help you catching a football?
It does. I mean, it does. I think that this is what I always say as I'm teaching kids. I say, if you can catch it small, you can catch it big.
Interesting.
So if you can catch a tennis ball, that's what you always practice with a tennis ball, or maybe a little rubbery ball, one of those, what do you call it, other tennis game that you play. It's like what's the little
racket ball?
Yes, racket ball.
Okay.
You have that little rubber ball. If you can catch it small, you should be able to catch it big. You're always looking the ball into your glove, and I think that is always that. And they're always training you to kind of, we're working on drills that are just not normal drills. You're working on drills to make sure you're able to have quick reaction every time and stuff. You have to snatch it and grab it out of the air. And so, yeah, any sport that helps you, like baseball definitely helped me. And if he's playing ping pong and it helps him, then that's a good thing.
I mean, he had that big catch, right, where on the fourth down where he just threw his hand up at the very, so
Unbelievable.
he got to the sideline and guys said ping pong. That's what they said on the sideline because that's what they first thought of.
Yeah, that's a good
Never
thing.
in a million years would I ever would have thought of picking up the ping pong paddle.
All right, so Wolf, we're going to get your thoughts here on the Seahawks first. Let's hear from the head coach, Jonathan Gannon, on the rematch with Seattle.
It's a good football team we're going to play on the road. It's one of the better environments, in my opinion, in the NFL. They're loud. We got to handle the environment the right way, and we got to play good, clean football because they're probably the hottest team in the NFL right now. They're probably one of the best teams in the NFL. Their record shows that. So their coaching staff does a good job. The players do a good job. We got a big time challenge.
They're top 5 in scoring offense. They're top 5 in scoring defense. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Paulie, I think it all starts up front for the Seattle Seahawks defensively. I really do. I think this is the beating heart of their team. That front seven is downright brutal, and I mean that in a very positive kind of way. Leonard Williams, it all starts with him. Byron Murphy, of course, the second. Not only that, Jaron Reed. These three guys are excellent down linemen, excellent defensive linemen, good against the run, can generate interior push as well. I think it all starts up front with the Seattle Seahawks. And honestly, if you want to flip it over, you can look at their offensive line. Their offensive line is way better, and we know that has been their Achilles heel in the last couple of years. It is a much better offensive line. I think that's where you start when you talk about the Seattle Seahawks. Their improved offensive line, and, man, that front seven, big time.
All right, so I'm going to go back to Walter Nolen III and then hit zoom out. What about the Cardinals' defensive front? What does the rookie do for the Cardinals' defensive front, Frank, in your opinion? I mean, they came out and they balled against a pretty good Dallas offensive line, obviously a high-scoring Dallas offense. They held them to 10 offensive points, and Calais 8, and then Calais, after the game, called Josh Sweat the best player on the field. So if you at least have that trio, and then Dalvin Tomlinson's been balling as your nose tackle, I mean, he's been an immovable object. How bullish are you on the Cardinals' defensive front and where it's trending?
The sky's the limit in regards to Walter Nolen, what he's bringing to the table. The mentality behind it is that you can't double Calais. A center can't just push down, and a guard can't double Calais, so it frees them up. I think there's a beauty where now you start getting that one-on-one situation. Teams game plan so extremely well against our better players, whether it be Sweat or Browning or or Calais, but now you have another guy that's a factor on attacking the interior part of the line, which is the fastest person that can get to the quarterback, and he can create the greatest havoc in the running or the passing game. So the sky's the limit. But I always say, man, look at this moment when you look at the Arizona Cardinals. Historical defensive line. You got Dockett, Golden, Bankston. You got Rice. You have Jones. You have Watts. And now you're adding your name to a list of guys that you want to be in the top 100 that's ever played for the Arizona Cardinals, and you just got to go out and do your job because the list and the standard of the defensive line that's been with the Arizona Cardinals is a great one.
Here's the one thing I really want to watch develop over the remainder of the season, Paulie, in particular. It's Walter Nolen. It's Walter Nolen III as the 3 technique and Josh Sweat on the edge. Listen, can I tell you right now, it all started with Leonard Marshall and Lawrence Taylor.
Ooh.
Those 2 guys right there, the 3 technique. Leonard Marshall lined up on the inside. They'd put Lawrence Taylor on the edge, of course, at all different kinds of edges, and he would work games with Leonard Marshall that were just incredible. I want to see if Walter Nolen III, of course, and Josh Sweat can actually build some type of chemistry out on the edge over the remainder of the season and see what they can accomplish, because that combination can be lethal, especially if you're only going to rush 4.
I mean, you're talking about a Seattle team that in their last game against Washington, Sam Darnold had 4 touchdown passes before he threw his first incompletion.
But pretty good day.
But we also
Very
saw
good day.
Darnold discombobulate in that playoff loss for Minnesota last year. Why? Because he was getting hit and harassed. It seems to me the only way you're taking down Seattle is to get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
And they didn't experience Walter Nolen, and they didn't experience this defensive front in Week 4. Yeah. So I am curious how much better equipped Cardinals are on Sunday.
What I want to see is this one thing. Number one, believe there's a bunch of hype about the Seattle Seahawks. That's fine. And they're good on film. But you're going to find that weakness. You're going to find that weakness in the game plan. That's what you're going to create. The OC and the DC, the coaching staff, they're going to find a weakness. And more importantly, you got to believe you can go in their house, walk away with a win. You fought this team tooth and nails, and you gave away a win at your own house. So they're not better than you. You didn't finish the game like you wanted to. But more importantly, understand the game plan and go out and execute the game plan the way it's being coached, because they're going to be calls that you just got to trust it. And it might just happen in the 4th quarter, but if you trust it throughout the game, you find yourself on top, man. Believe and go out and do what your job is, because any team can be beat. And like you said, front 4, man, if they go get pressure on Sam Darnold, he might turn into a pumpkin, and that's all you want. That's what you want.
He's only been sacked 9 times in 8 games.
Yeah.
They've given up the fewest sacks all year, Wolf.
Yeah. So I see dead people. He's not really seeing it, Paulie. Can I just say this? I want to say this quickly about the front 7, once again, going back with the Seahawks, Paulie. They're number 2 in the National Football League in rushing yards per game allowed. Number 2. They're number 1 in rushing yards per play allowed.
Wow.
You put those 2 things together, they are kicking the dog out of opposing offensive linemen in run-down situation. Where does that really show up? That really shows up in the red zone. Of course, the red zone, where all of a sudden square footage is reduced. You have to be a good running team if you want to be a good red zone team for the most part, and that's where the Seattle Seahawks trap you. They're so good in stopping the run. The red zone, of course, defense is very, very good, top 10, and they don't give up points because of it. 18.8 points per game.
All right, today, Frank Sanders would have been Pat Tillman's 49th birthday.
Oh, wow.
What do you think of when you're asked about Pat? What do you think of? Is there, for people who ask you for the very first time, is there something that's sort of your go-to? What do you tell people?
I'm sorry. I mean, I just
and I didn't mean for you to get all emotional.
No, it's you think about Pat and what he brought to the table, and then you just you say a life that's it's really to say I think he did everything he wanted to do. Pat might have been different, but he did the way he wanted to do it. He came to work how he wanted to come to work, but he played how he wanted to play. He ran marathons in the offseason, something nobody would do. He trained Tai Chi and did Taibo in the offseason. Nobody did that. He wore pajamas and white T-shirts and sandals to practice every day. He rode a beach cruiser to work every day.
Yes.
He surfed. He's a poli-sci major. He's an engineer-minded man. He read books on the Army and the Navy and the Air Force and Marines, military stuff. But as a person, as a player, all on the field, that statue represents the face, the grunt, the grind of Pat Tillman, and that's exactly who he was.
Really well said, and we really enjoyed it. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate it. Special thanks, as always, Jim Omahunter, Cody Fincher, Walt Ellis, Lawrence Ellis, for Ron Wolfley on Paul Calvisi. Special thanks to Michael Wilson as well, Cardinals receiver. It's the Big Red Rage, presented by Emergency Air from Flanker Kitchen and Sports Bar on the Great Lawn at State Farm Stadium.
Chaw.